You know, just when you think you have everything set and ready to go, you talk for 5 minutes without any mic on you. Awesome. Sorry about that. Okay, let me just start this again. What I was showing you was just some different ways, different easy journals you can do. This one I was just suggesting maybe you could do this as a craft item at a fair. This is just a painting that I did and doodles that I did, and cut it all up and put it in here. Just when you think you have Whoops. Everything. Sorry. Sorry. Gosh. Okay, then what I was saying here is just carefully cut these out. If you go too far, it's okay because you'll just be able to cover it on the other side. I am so sorry, you guys. Nothing like riding the Hot Mess Express. You can use scissors if you don't have a craft knife. Okay, so that's that part there. So on this part, you can do two things. You can leave it just like this, glue here and here, and just make a shallow pocket. I don't really like to do that because I like to have a fuller pocket. So you can just come in here too and just very carefully open that up. If you have little pieces that are in the way in there, you can cut those too and get those out of the way. Let me show you one that I already have here. So I just opened that whole thing up, glued the sides down to make a deeper pocket there. So once you've got that open and glued, then that one I kind of went through on, that's okay. Then you can fold it in half. I'll switch to this one. You can glue up here too to make a little shallow pocket on either side there if you want to. And then you'll have this as a pocket as well here. But you'll just fold that in half, and then you can decorate this however you'd like. I will tell you, I have a printable in my school for you called Daily Pages for Christian Creatives. And this is just a 5-day journal. I am working on a 30-day, but I am, again, very tech challenged, if we can't tell that already. When you print it, it does print, sorry, the lighting here. It does print with a border around here, and I did that to just make it so you can cut it down smaller. So this is what it looks like cut. And you'll just do front and back. You'll want to print front and back every other page so that it comes out correctly. My printer, I need to reinstall my software with it because it's not printing double-sided for me anymore. Okay, so you'll cut this down to fit inside your journal or fit inside your cover. It does not matter what size cover unless it's really small, but you'll just want to fit that in there. And then this is a little foam block that I made. These are just the foams that are the sticky foams. And I just stuck several of them together. And then I'm just going to do a really easy pamphlet stitch on this, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So you just lay that in there. They do have punching cradles available, and I do have a few of those. This one is one that was a 3D printed one. And for something like this, you would lay it in here and then use this as your guide. But because this isn't very complicated, it's just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to get my pages lined up where I want them. And then you can use a sewing awl, or they have little kits on Amazon that have all of the bookbinding kits. And you can get them for really $10, sometimes maybe even less, depending on what you want. So I'm just going to come down and pop a hole in, pop a hole in, and in the center. Okay, now I've got my holes made. I already pre-threaded this so you guys wouldn't have to see me trying to thread this on camera, thread a needle. Yeah, so I've got that in there. So you can use, this is wax thread, but you can use, I would say, a couple layers of embroidery floss even. Anything that you can get onto the needle would be fine. The wax thread is nice just because it glides a little bit better. You can also buy little things of wax and put your thread, run your thread through it. That would help. But so this is a super simple stitch. You can do this from the inside or the outside if you want to. If you want to put little dangles on, you can go through the outside there. Start the other way. But you're just going to pull this through. Leave a little tail there. Come up and through the back here. That'll go through. There we go. That one's a little bit off, but that's okay. It's not really going to matter. Okay. If you have a hard time pulling like I do, this is called a needle, this is called a needle puller. It's just a little piece of rubber that you can grab on that with and pull it through. It also makes it easy to push through if you need to help some help with pushing that. So you'll just pull that tight there. And then you'll come all the way down to that last hole. And I should have told you that you need 3 lengths of thread when you're doing that. So you'll want to measure your thread out 1, 2, 3 times for this. Then you'll come back through the center hole there. Make sure you don't split your thread. Sometimes it's hard to see. You can just pop that apart and then tighten it up. Okay. So once you've got that through, you're going to want to tighten everything up. Be careful not to pull too hard because you don't want to tear anything. So when you go to make your knot here, you're going to make sure you have 1 tail on each side of that center. And then you'll just give it a couple knots. And then cut them down. And there you have it. You have your journal. You can decorate it any which way you want. You've got your pockets in there. And I will decorate these on my, I'm not going to decorate them today with you, but I will decorate them on my YouTube. So if you want to follow there, you can come back in and do that with me if you'd like. Okay, so that's one. The next one is even easier, I think. And that's using your envelopes. Whoops. This one is super, super easy. You're just going to take your envelopes and slide them in just like that for the first set. So you have it looking just like this. This side's going to be a closure eventually. So you would think, yeah, you could just layer, but it does not work that way. You have to come in and do it backwards. So you can do it, if you do it the other way, you can do it that way and then add a signature if you'd like the pack of papers. You can, but I like to do it this way because then you get just a few really sturdy pages in here to make a small journal, and this could just be however you want, and you got lots of pockets to use. Oops, it slid out, and we'll take care of that in just a second. Okay, so when you get here, you're going to have, it'll be a little bit bulky. That's okay. You'll just refold that to make it a little, you'll have like a little spine right there. And that's okay. So to keep this together, we're going to glue. We all know my luck with glue on videos. I don't know why, but so you'll tuck that in there. So this will not be a pocket because you're going to need, that's going to hold everything together there. So I'm just putting a little line of glue here. And you'll glue that down. And then on the inside, you'll have your pockets here, page here. Pocket here, page here. Then when you get to that center part, you need to again, to hold it all together, you're just going to pull that up and put a little line of glue and glue that down. And again, for the next one, little line of glue, glue that down. And then you'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Glue it down. And glue it down. Then you have all of your pages, your pockets, good to go. You can decorate this. You know, Teresa and Serena both put out some really cool pages and papers that you can use. You can use any of that type of stuff to decorate these. Again, I'll come back on my YouTube and I'll show how to make a closure for this one using this flap. But you can use these for extra ephemera. All those little pieces that you're cutting out, you can use these pockets for that. So that is journal number 2. So Oh, and I want to show you. So I like to use these little pockets in junk journaling. Um, they're just like little coin pockets, I guess is what you'd call them. But to show you that it does work with pretty much any envelopes and these shorter flapped ones, I made a teeny tiny one with those. I have my pocket, and I just did it the same way. Actually, this has, these ones that I bought have stickies on them, so I just did it, and then I reached in with a pair of tweezers and pulled the stickies out and closed them up. But I did it the exact same way. So you could come in with this, cover these all up with some cute paper, and again have a couple little pockets to tuck little things into. And that'd be fun too. Okay, the last one I have here is just using Amazon packaging. This works really well if you get the M2 packages. I don't get them very often, but when I do, I save them. So you'll just cut that flap off the top there. You can do it into two parts here, or you can do it into one, depending on how thick and full you want your cover. Doesn't matter if you want to take it apart and use both sides, you can. So then you would just take your papers. These ones are a little small because I had actually cut them down for another journal. And these are just whatever, whatever you have. That's grease paper. This is anybody else addicted to this stuff from Amazon, the brown paper. I always save it. I have way too much of it. Some old school paper, old ledger paper. This was blueprints that I sent to the wrong printer. We have a large format printer in our camper for printing out blueprints, and I sent it to the wrong printer. So you could just do whatever papers you have, and then you would do the same thing. Put it in here. You can do your 3 holes. When you use smaller papers, you might just catch one part of it. That's not really that big of a deal because it's little. So you can do that same 3-hole punch with that. And that's another way you can make a journal. Super simple, easy, using what you have lying around. And that's what I have for you today. Switch this back up. So I am really apologize that I didn't have that. I don't know. I sometimes, and then look, my hair's on there. Hopefully it wasn't doing that the whole time. Oh my goodness. Okay. Thank you guys. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.